All right, the recording has started. So this is the July 2nd, 2019 Rook community meeting. And we will start by taking a look at the current milestones and get some status on those. So first, let's look at any patch issues that we have. Looks like we have nothing that's in review, but we do have a number of issues in progress. Travis, do you want to speak through some of these issues here that are on the 1.0 patch board?
Yep, so I believe all of those fixes been merged into master, but we just need the backport PR for them. So I was hoping to get that a PR open for that this morning, but it didn't happen yet. And so I think it'll be just for efficiency's sake with the CI. It'd be nice to open just a single backport PR that brings all of them in. And I can do that this afternoon.
Cool. So all 5 of these are already merged into master?
Right.
Nice.
I believe so. Just double checking down the list, but yes, I believe so.
That's awesome. Great. And so are we wanting to do a 1.0.3 or is it 4?
.3. Yeah.
.3. By this week or before 4th of July holiday or?
I'm thinking there's one more that's not in this list too that we were just discussing in the huddle the last half hour with Alex around RGW.
Do you know what number it is?
Let's see, Alex. Let's see. Did you have the?
I've added it to the agenda. If you scroll a bit down in the agenda, you should.
The agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. There. The add Galaxy backport or not to backport.
Oh, okay.
The pull request. Yeah, well, but both in the end, yeah.
And so that PR, it's a bit bigger with a bit more risk. So I wanted to chat with Sebastian about that. Hopefully on Thursday, even if briefly if it's on the 4th, and consider backporting that because it sounds like it is a pretty big common issue for people with RGW.
Did you open the issue too? Because in the issue, it's kind of getting more, if you already read the title, I think is more or less the point, that the whole RGW instances, the deployments are getting deleted after some time. Basically meaning that the whole object store is not usable anymore till for whatever reason. I'm not sure if restarting the operator was a fix, but that it's completely gone in the first place is, well, a critical issue.
Right. So because it's critical, I agree. It seems like we should backport this. And so, yeah, I'll click on reopen to consider for backporting. That was 3245, right? Yep.
It's 3245, yeah. I'll put it on that board too, so at least it's on. It's part of that discussion too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, so assuming we can get that and decide for sure to backport, in my mind, Friday would be a good day to target 1.0.3 release. There's a couple issues still in to-do column that would be good to understand by then too. I'm not sure we'll get further on the other two, but.
Okay, and then another one, Travis, it looks like this issue here, 3298, it's awaiting triage on the 1.0 board.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like you added it to 1.0.
But it missed getting into
Yeah, but I think it's not on the... Whoop.
I think since our column isn't named to do that.
Oh, that's why the automation isn't picking it up?
Right.
I see.
So maybe we should just rename that back to do. Since we're done with...
Yeah, since we shipped 1.0.0, I think the ambiguity isn't needed anymore. You're right. That's good. That's a good catch. Is it all uppercase to do that it needs, or do?
What does...
Yeah, what does one of the other boards look like?
Board. Yeah. They've got to do 2 words, lowercase except T.
Got it. Oh gosh, okay, copy and pasting does not do what I wanted it to. I started dragging the column off the screen. So just basically get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so automation should work now.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we shall see. All right, so we'll. So that sounds like a good status update for all those issues there, and we'll talk about the 3245 a little bit later on. It sounds like too, or we'll need to follow up with Sebastian Hahn as well. It sounds like
For that, yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else from other storage providers on the call that is interested in that patch release or when we do it? I'm not sure I see others like from EdgeFS.
Yeah, it looks like there already
not
is this EdgeFS issue here about metadata only ISGW, but
So okay, I'll put a note in the Deb channel that we want to target Friday potentially.
sounds good. Okay. All right, let's talk about 1.1.
And I still can't say I've made a pass at the 1.1 board yet. It needs some attention.
Got it. Yeah, we have a fair amount of issues that are included in 1.1, and we are, we're actively making progress on these issues that we've also included in the board there. I think that there's more in progress issues that are not updated on this board, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that Multis design spec, since it's in review there, just curious, we don't have the author of that on this call, right? Or Dimitri, I guess, to speak more to it.
No, I don't think Dimitri or Giovanni are on the call today.
Yep. Okay.
Has anyone else got a chance to look at this design yet?
Yeah, there have been a few comments on it. I read through it. I think I commented on it, but
2621. Yeah, I'm going to put the issue there instead of the pull request.
Ah.
And I'm not a like issue. It's better to track issues on boards as opposed to pull requests. You don't assign pull requests to milestones. Okay, there we go. Cool. Yeah, it's really good. So that issue, for anyone who isn't aware, is that is the selected project for the Google Summer of Code program, where we had a number of potential students submit proposals for projects that they wanted to work on within Rook for the Google Summer of Code program, and this is the one that got selected to be able to start supporting multiple network interfaces for storage backends and do it in a general way to kind of add that to the Rook.io common library support, the Rook framework. And so Giovanni is working on that for the summer here. And so once he has this design approved and figured out, then I'll start working on the coding of it for the rest of the summer. So definitely very excited to have him taking that on. And hopefully we'll get him at some of the community meetings here as well, so he can get more involved in the community.
Great.
All right, any other issues that people want to bring up in the 1.1 context? We've got other agenda items for stuff to bring up, so that's okay.
Yeah, I think we should just all make an effort to update our tickets on that board, because it's just stale at this point.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the community topics here. The first one that I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of is that our pull request change approval process has been officially updated now. And so in master, The approvers and reviewers policy is there. It's fully outlined in the contributing documentation. But I believe this has been used a couple of times already so far. But people that are part of the approvers list here can now merge independently, merge pull requests into master. So that should have unblocked a fair amount of folks for being able, storage providers, to be able to make independent and autonomous progress. And hopefully it's all working as expected and there aren't significant roadblocks still with that policy in place now.
Yep, I believe it's working as planned, and great to have it done.
Awesome. All right, the next item we have on the agenda here is this is the one that Blaine added, and it looks like he's still not on the call here. So we're just going to assume he won't be able to make it today. So Travis, you said you wanted to speak through this then instead, since Blaine's not here?
Yeah, so you clicked on the issue there. And I should have read through this before the meeting, but I haven't. we had a discussion about it, Blaine and I, but I'll see if I can summarize. The plan is that, so Ceph itself, with Filestore basically being replaced by BlueStore, Ceph is really only supporting devices for OSDs. And so Rook's support for directories, which essentially use Filestore, that also similarly should be deprecated, really, and guide people to go and just use devices with BlueStore as the way production clusters should be run.
And so, Travis, is that upstream Ceph is completely removing support for directory-based OSDs?
So it's not completely deprecated or removed yet, but it really will be at some point. I don't know the timeline for that. But as far as what's recommended, it's already recommended to use devices with BlueStore in production. And yeah, the Filestore support will eventually be going away.
So does that mean that it's kernel only for Ceph?
Kernel only, like BlueStore.
Yeah.
It's all BlueStore, right? With the raw block devices.
Okay.
That sounds the one. I have two concerns about that. The first one is that I actually do know of a company that's the Replicated is the name of them, and what their business is about providing SaaS services, like bundling them up and running them on premises for people. And what they're using for storage right now is Rook, but it's directory based, file store based. So they're using that in production for their customers. And so there's at least that example of somebody that would have non-trivial impact by that, because that's what their actual solution is for end customers that they're selling to. And then the other potential concern is around just like initial kick the tires type of experience. Like maybe BlueStore devices are what's supported more so for production, but for just be somebody without any access to raw devices, just being able to easily do one command of kube control apply cluster and just being able to use a directory that's on the local file system just to try it out. It seems like that would be a fairly big burden or obstacle to put in front of people, that they have to have raw devices to even try out Ceph and Rook anymore. So that's a bit concerning.
Yeah. So as far as being able to just kick the tires and try it out, BlueStore can run in a file, which is something that we may want to support in case you don't have devices, but nobody should ever use that in production type of thing. So I share concerns about removing all the directory support, because there are other things, like if people want to use LVM and configure it how they need it, the only way to do that right now is you create a directory and on some LV
and also just to kind of pile on here, even if it's not a mainline Ceph scenario, I think that a cloud native approach where it just runs as a Kubernetes application without needing a lot of host level changes is desirable. And if you look at other projects that are at the same level as Rook, they support those scenarios. Like as in it just runs without needing special access to devices or and so I was hoping that that would be a case where Ceph could invest in going forward. It sounds like going in the opposite direction of devices only, mostly dedicated storage.
Right. That is the direction, and I feel that concern too. I don't feel like our deprecation plan fills the need for the gap that people are going to experience here. So I don't think the story is complete, and yeah, I don't have a good answer, I guess, right now. But we do, yeah, we have to address that, I think, before we remove directory support.
Is it
So Filestore isn't going away anytime soon. It's just that development focus is shifting towards BlueStore.
Talking to Sage, I understood it will be going away at some point, but that might be a long ways away. So maybe we support it for a long time too, and we don't deprecate it immediately, right?
But I think it's a good idea to push users towards BlueStore in a positive way.
Maybe without removing support for a long time, at least, until there's a really good story.
Yeah, there's a distinction between deprecation and removal. And you can just say, this is deprecated and will be removed, so that people understand they should nudge in a certain direction.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's might be highly recommended to use BlueStore, but having that option still there is something that I would like to see, or else a replacement for that scenario before we remove it.
Yeah, if that replacement for the scenario is BlueStore in a file type of thing, then they know that may be okay as well. But yeah, being able to maintain support for some of these scenarios that we were bringing up seems fairly important still.
Mm-hmm. And the BlueStore in a file really only can be used for kicking the tires because there's basically no garbage collection in that case. So if you're running it in production, you'll run out of space.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So that's only development scenario.
Okay. Cool. So that's it sounds like we should also, I took a follow-up note to add a comment to this this issue here. Is there a separate, it looks like it's captured directly in this issue, right? There's not a separate one-pager for soliciting comments, right?
Right, there's not right now.
Okay. So yeah, so I think that if anybody wants to add their opinion to this issue here so that it's collected in one place, then that would be highly desirable. Mm-hmm. Cool. Thanks for bringing this up. Yeah, I think this is a good example of something that's useful to bring up in the community setting here. So I appreciate that being done in this meeting.
The more input we have, the better.
So we kind of mentioned this already here about Backport and not Backport, and we mentioned the criticality of this, how it affects, what seemed to be the most concerning here is that it affects RGW users after already getting set up and starting to consume data. It's not an initial blocker to set up, but it's actually once you're running and have data stored that it then breaks. And I don't know if there's potential data loss or not, but there's definitely downtime or unavailability. So that does seem concerning. And so Travis, the follow-up here was to talk to Sebastian Hahn to figure out the merge story or Backport.
Right. And I may go ahead and just open a Backport PR, but not merge it till I talk to him.
Okay.
Anyway, yep. And there's no data loss here. It's really just the RGW daemon being stopped or deleted.
Is that a recoverable scenario? Like, could it be started back up again, or?
Right, like you restart the operator and it should start the RGW daemon again.
Okay, I see. Okay.
I believe that is a workaround.
So it's downtime, loss of availability. It's not loss of durability or persistence.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for making that distinction. Okay, so you can follow up with Sebastian about that then.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. All right, and then this was also on here about refactor operator content. Is that that's been merged? Is that? I think that got. I think this was on the agenda late, like after we adjourned the meeting last week or last time. It got added on just 10 minutes too late, and so it looks like in the last 2 weeks that it actually got resolved and merged. And so I don't think that this topic has any more communication or discussion that needs to happen.
Yeah, I think since it's merged, it's good. So we're aware it does help for debuggability of some of the storage providers. So you can run from your development machine to debug into the operator.
Yeah, I noticed that within the context of reviewing the Nuba operator, that these new flags here about running locally and being able to not. It seemed like this was one approach to tightening up the dev iteration cycle as well, and so not just debuggability, but not having to build a package and deploy that package or that image to the cluster and starting up a pod with it and all that stuff. It seemed like it was a very quick iteration cycle to be able to run the binaries locally on your dev machine, pointed at the cluster.
It doesn't work yet for all storage providers. Like Ceph is pretty complicated and it's not working there yet, but that would be awesome if we eventually had it working there for quicker development and debugging. So anyway,
what's the latest for the Ceph dev team in terms of your mainline development experience and flow? I know that Minikube was largely abandoned by a lot of people. And then what are you guys using most often now?
Well, I most often still use Minikube.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
I do, yeah.
I thought you all got too cool for Minikube.
I mean, for demos, there's this, OpenShift environment that's simple to spin up for the guys in the field doing demos for people. They've made this lab environment. That's what I use for demos, but I know other people are spinning up clusters in AWS with similar things to that lab environment.
Cool. We got in the chat. We got another +1 Minikube. That's right, my Minikube friends. We will never die.
Right. Yep.
And Alexander, what's your main development environment right now?
Sorry. Are you asking me?
Oh, I was asking Alexander Trust what his main environment is. I said that you added +1 on Minikube, and I was happy about that.
Yeah. That's it.
Looks like Alexander's either on mute or away from the call right now.
Or lost his audio.
No.
There you are, buddy. Hello.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
I was asking what's your main development environment for Rook right now? Or you're not using Minikube, I don't think. What do you use?
I most of the time use my Kate as Vagrant multi-nodes environment project.
How many nodes do you normally run?
As I have 32 gigs of RAM and like 16 threads, like 4 or something. Yeah, depends on what I want to do.
Nice. 32 gigs of RAM. That must be nice. Rohan responded in the chat that he uses this project here. Kubernetes. How do you say that? Kubernetes? Kubernetes? Oh, is it like Genesis? Like Kubernetes? That's a tough one. I'm not a native English speaker. I'm sorry.
It's my competitor project.
Oh, I see. Now, Noah, is this Noah? Did you make this?
Is Noah on the call?
Oh, he wasn't. I saw Noah was on the call earlier today.
I guess he dropped.
Maybe he dropped out. I think I saw earlier that he dropped out or left the call.
Oh, okay. It doesn't say that it's a fork. So is this a project?
I just meant basically that it's like another project that does something like that too.
Does it have a different focus than the multi-node? This is like, I think this is a super interesting topic here because development environment and development iteration, efficiency, I think is super important to be able to enable the community to effectively, develop and create fixes and new features for Brook. And then the chat is flooding in with other projects as well. So I want to spend maybe 5 minutes on this because this is actually super interesting. So Sebastian Wagner suggested this one, so we'll get to that in a second. So Alexander, do you know about this Kubernetes thing here? That how does it differ from your approach of Vagrant multi-node?
It's using libvirt.
Oh, libvirt. Oh, okay.
And I'm using VirtualBox.
Do you does your project support other providers as well?
Not right now. It was a bit too much hassle there with like the disk configuration and so on. Unless it was working for me.
Well, that's right, because you have to do like different setup commands, provisioner commands, etc., to get disk set up.
There's no common interface in Vagrant to do so, and
Yep, it has to be. It's very provider specific. That's right.
I use bash scripts for making my life easy with this Kubernetes.
You have the other scripts, Rohan?
Yeah, I wrote some lame scripts, and it helped me out with this, and it's really fast.
Do you think that those should go into this upstream project here, Rohan? Should you open a pull request to Noah's project and add them there?
Well, then I will have to work on the scripts a lot.
Oh, are they just at Rohan local quality?
Yep.
That shared community quality, like fully supported with documentation and all that.
It's just like small scripts, and it works.
Got it. Yeah, works for Rohan.
Yep.
Cool. And then Sebastian, so Wagner said that you're using this project here. This is another one I haven't heard of either. So this uses Terraform, Sebastian?
Is he still on the call?
Oh. Sebastian's he's off the call now. Huh. Okay. Man, people throwing out great ideas and running away. Okay, cool. So I didn't know that there are all these other potential options here. That's super interesting. I know some people really, at least on Mac, really enjoy Docker for Mac as well. That has a built-in Kubernetes cluster that's pretty darn smooth. I know that it had some issues if you do things like creating RBD devices. That didn't work for me a number of months ago, and I haven't revisited that. So it might be a kernel issue thing in that environment. But cool. So this is super interesting. Thank you for everyone for sharing these. I'm gonna probably add these to the agenda doc as well, so that they're at least persisted.
Yeah, I think Noah or someone I think still has a PR open to document those such environments. So everyone basically choose what they need. I can tell you which number. It's one that is a bit older.
You cut out for a while for me. I don't know if that was for everybody though.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay.
Can you say that again, Alex?
Yes. Now with a bit of echo. I meant there is a PR open to document multiple environments that are available for testing and development. And it is still open, I think, from Noah or something.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I've added those to the agenda doc so people can refer to those again. That looks like some interesting projects maybe to check out to see if they have, if they work for other people's development flow, and also being able to share that knowledge in the community to get everyone more productive is always useful. All right, so that's all the items that were on the agenda for today. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to bring up before we adjourn for this week?
I put an action item for myself there. I still haven't updated the roadmap like I've said the last 2 meetings. So
that's okay, Travis. You do a whole lot in the community, and you're a valued member.
Oh, thanks, Jared.
All right, last call. Alrighty, so I think we can go ahead and adjourn then. Thank you everybody for joining and participating and sharing all this information, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.